Banana Republic stuff. I don't know how else to say it. All right. I'm sorry I'm recording offline. I'm about to fly to Canada, and I'm not even sure they're gonna let me back in the country after what I'm done saying. Okay, listen. You might have noticed if you're watching the markets today that they're a bit jittery, a bit down, quite down, especially the Dow. The reason they're down is two parts. Number one is a fresh round of tariffs that Trump announced, 50% on Brazil and a bunch of other ones that are supposed to come out in 6 days on August 7th. And that could be it, but the market has sort of learned not to take him too seriously on this stuff and on the dates and deadlines he sets. The other thing that happened today was that we got a horrendous jobs report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS.
This report that we just got, when you look at the July numbers and the revisions, he says this is the worst major economic report we've gotten since the end of the pandemic era.
A horrendous job report. Let me just go through it. They expected something like 112,000 new jobs. What they got was 73,000. But this is before the downward revisions because they also downward revised the past 2 months. May and June were 144,000 new jobs when they announced it in May, 147,000 new jobs when they announced it in June. However, those were revised down to 19,000 and 14,000. They cut 250 plus thousand jobs out that turns out weren't real. And this has been a consistent pattern. Consistently, since basically 22, the BLS has consistently over-announced jobs and then revised it down. And the downward revisions are getting big. So this implies, based on this pattern, that even this terrible, anemic 73,000 number from this month is probably going to get revised down too. These are really bad jobs numbers, especially if you drill into where the jobs growth is coming from. Where are these few jobs even getting hired in? Turns out they're in healthcare and social assistance employment. Our entire country, the only job growth is happening to care for the old and sick. As we get older and sicker as a nation, there is some job growth in taking care of that. But everything else, every other private sector employment is down. So outside of government jobs and healthcare jobs, we're not seeing any growth in this economy. And I promise you, some of you are feeling this if you're looking for a job right now. If you're talking to regular people looking for a job, you're feeling this. But that's not the only thing, okay? Yes, this was a bad jobs report. Yes, this confirms that we're seeing some real shakiness in the labor market. Even as unemployment remains relatively low, it's ticking up. And again, I've talked about this before, this number is underreported because of the number of people not filing for unemployment due to gig work. Uber is preventing this number from flying, but it is a lot higher for real well-paying jobs than you'd expect, okay? But all that aside, a while back, I talked about China, and I made fun of the fact that China had rising youth unemployment. The number was going up, and so they stopped publishing the number. And then a few months later, they came back with a new formula, and it was way lower. And I made fun of that because it's obvious what they're doing. The number made them look bad, so they stopped publishing it, and they changed it. And I thought, well, that's not going to happen here, right? Well, wrong. Because after this terrible jobs number came out today, immediately our president, Donald J. Trump, salute the GOAT, gets on Truth Social and fires her. Fires the leader of the BLS, the commissioner. He shot the messenger. She put out a number that probably is higher than it should be, and he fired her for this rigged number that is trying to make him look bad. This is Banana Republic end of cycle shit. Yeah, it's absurd, man. It's crazy. We can't even trust the date. He's going to put in a puppet that's going to say we have 10 million new jobs in August. But let's be real. I think we can all tell what direction this is headed in. The unemployment rate is ticking up. Good jobs ticking down. We're a nation of the caring for the old and sick.